All right, Chuck's Chat, YouTube. We are back. Ben and Ferry join me again this time to break down the field of 68 in the 2022 NCAA tournament, the first tournament with fans since 2019. And I guess to start here with any of the just bracket wise, I guess, Ferry, if you wanted to start here on any teams, any big upsets you might have in the first round, any matchups you're particularly looking forward to, whether it's in the first round or down the line, and just if you have any like big, double-digit seeds making a big run here.
Yeah, I mean, I know you were talking a little bit earlier. I'm not a fan of the West region that much. I think it's just so, mainly because I like Texas Tech because I have a pretty big future on them at plus 3,300. But I don't like having, despite Duke, Michigan State's still a team. Izzo, Arkansas is good, Gonzaga, obviously UConn. It's a very tough region in my opinion, especially for the number one overall seed. And mainly because I like Tech a lot. But as in main upsets, I do like. I don't know how big of an upset, but I like TCU a lot. I like TCU making a run. I think that they, went through, no bias with the Big 12 schedule, but I do think that they are a legitimate team, and I think that they could really give Arizona good money and possibly make the Final Four.
Ooh, okay.
I really do. I mean, I don't think it's that strong of a region. How I feel about Tennessee and Barnes. I don't think he's a good coach in the tournament.
I'm glad you brought that up. Let me stop you right there for a second.
I know he's had a hell of a run in the SEC tournament. I get it. No, he's
not
making me look bad.
It's to support you and why.
Oh, okay.
And we'll get into it why I can't put Tennessee far in the tournament.
Yep.
Rick Barnes teams are 1-11-1 against the spread in their last 13 NCAA tournament games. Since Texas made the Elite Eight in 2008, Barnes' teams have made it past the first weekend once in 9 trips, including being knocked out in the second round as a 3 seed in 2018 when they lost to Loyola as an 11 seed.
That was a good team.
That was a good team.
Kevin Durant was a pretty good team too.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes guys don't pan out.
Rick Barnes. So who was the problem?
Fault.
Rick Barnes or Kevin Durant?
PJ Tucker. He was the problem.
So you clearly have Tennessee going far then, based on your response to that.
I haven't making it past the first day for sure.
Oh, okay. Any further than that?
I'm just doing the first round right now, and it's day by day.
Okay, fair. Continue what you were going with there.
I mean, that region I just think is the most open. I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from Arizona because I do think they are good, but I like TCU, like I said. I even like UAB a little bit, to give them a run, possibly to make a little Sweet 16 as my top seed. I do not like Houston. They lost their 2 best players this season. I've been on that train for like a month or two now that I do not like Houston. I respect Sampson as a coach, I really do, but I really don't like them in this spot. Other parts of the bracket, I don't. The one matchup I really just don't want to watch is USC Miami. It ain't doing it for me. I think it's a boring game. I like Larinaga as a coach a lot too, and even Andy Enfield, but USC is a fraud in my eyes, and Miami's not that great. So I think one of those two teams might, get farther without them being that good because Auburn's right there. You never know. But I mean, yeah, other than that, I mean, UAB and TCU are the two, I guess, seeds of the teams that I like the most to be able, choose.
Yeah, the bottom of that region is really disgusting because we're gonna have to watch LSU Iowa State also.
I would love to touch upon that game later as my lock of the day.
Okay, good. And I have a feeling I know where you're
you know exactly where I'm going with
that. Ben, same question for you in terms of first round, any big upsets you're looking at, any matches you're particularly looking forward to.
I don't have anything crazy. Like I don't have like a 13 or like a 14 seed doing any damage, but I like Loyola Chicago a lot. They've been there before. They know what to do. Big Memphis guy this year. I think they have a lot of talent and can make a deep run. possibly may place a future on them to win the national championship. So I like them a lot.
On top of for people who don't know, the future you already have on them to win the
I
national
may
championship.
already have a future on them, but that doesn't matter.
It'd be better odds now, I'm sure.
I like Michigan State a lot too, just because Tom Izzo is there and he'll have the boys ready for any game he plays. So I like them to make a little noise. Those are like probably the lowest seeds I like in the tournament.
To make a little run.
Yeah, maybe Sweet 16, Elite 8.
Okay. I think this might be a little trendy. But
also if Indiana wins, I like them.
That's where
I agree with that. I do
that's
agree
where I
with
was
that.
gonna go. I like
UCLA, Indiana. I think the winner of that could go.
I like both of them. I do like both of them too.
Shout out Xavier Johnson.
Yeah, H2P. I mean, there's no reason if Rutgers can get through Notre Dame, I don't see why they couldn't beat Alabama. And then
that is also true.
Then they stylistically they could give Texas Tech a game because Texas Tech can. I really like Texas Tech, as you know, Ferry. We're both on the Texas Tech train, but when they go their stretches of like 6 minutes without scoring,
it's brutal.
It's brutal. But luckily, their defense is always there, so that can always take them far. In terms of first round upsets, I really like Vermont. I think they could beat Arkansas. But if Arkansas wins this game, I could see them going on a run. They have between Note and Jalen Williams. Like I love anytime you have an elite scoring guard and then like athletic bigs like that.
Mm-hmm.
Generally speaking, those are the teams that make good runs, which is why I don't love Gonzaga because I don't think Drew Timme, he's going to get exposed in the post, and Chet Holmgren's like kind of up or down. Mm-hmm. When he's really good, he's really good. But so like looking forward on that, I do still have them going to the Elite Eight, but if they lost, if UConn caught them or Arkansas caught them, like there's no reason they couldn't lose those games. I think that them being like minus 190 to make the Final Four is insane if anyone's taking that.
Yeah.
Like last year, I think they were minus 200, and that was almost a lock that they were getting to the Final Four because they were just so much better than everyone else, minus Baylor.
And that region's just tough, as I mentioned before. Like that, there's a lot of good teams. I mean, I know you two really do not like Duke, but I mean, they're still there. But it's still another team in that region.
Duke might not even make it past the second round, Ferry.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying it just adds that there's when you have all these other teams on there, then you just add Duke to it. It's not great.
Ben, can you sit up so we can see your math?
Oh, my bad. My bad.
And I also really like South Dakota State against Providence. I've kind of been on and I really like Ed Cooley, but I just don't think Providence is completely overachieved this year. They shouldn't have won the Big East regular season. They had like 3 games canceled, and then they got blown out by Creighton. They're just not a very good team. And South Dakota State, like when you get mid-majors like this that are like 30-2 or 29-4, like these are really good teams. And Providence is going to have major issues in that game, and I think they're going to lose. If they do win, it'll be close like all their games, and they'll run into the hottest team in the country in Iowa in the next round. All right, Final Fours. Fair, if you want to start us with that, who you got in the Final Four? As of today, it's probably going to change for all of us by the time it comes out.
I reserve the right to change my Final.
Yes, I guarantee you.
Or change any of my picks.
Was this the first run, like the Final Four you're about to give? Was this your first run through it, or have you changed it since it came out last night?
I haven't changed it, so there's some things I might change depending on the first 4 and just like buzz around like the March Madness stuff. I might change, but this is still like when I looked at the bracket, this is gut instinct.
I've also changed. Just last night.
Do you want me to say it right now since I was talking about it?
Sure, Ben, you can start.
So out of the East, I'll go Midwest up because the last one's kind of gonna make Chuck mad. But out of the Midwest, I got Wisconsin. I think they playing angry, coming off not winning the Big Ten tournament, and I like them a lot. Shout out Big Cat. Tennessee, I have coming out of the South. I think they'll get disrespected by everybody, including you, Chuck. Rick Bowen's coach. UCLA, is a veteran team that's had made noise last year. I think they will know what to do, and I think they have a marginally decent run to get there, especially if Indiana loses in the play-in. I think they have a very good shot. And then out of the East, I got Memphis. I think they got a lot of talent. Penny Hardaway is going to get the boys up and ready to play every game. He's been there. He knows the environment.
He hasn't been there.
Never mind. He won it as much as them then.
He's literally never coached a tournament game.
No, I mean, he's been there as a player.
I
think he has.
He was
He'll
probably
know what they're going to and relate to them.
Okay.
Because he's a player's coach.
Gotcha. Okay, I mean, you're crazy. But they called Einstein crazy.
Yeah, I was about to say they called Einstein crazy.
The one thing, and this is like a weird scheduling thing with Memphis specifically, is that they're going east to west, and their game's at 1:45 p.m. So they're gonna have to play at 10 a.m. against Boise State, who's used to the time zone.
In Portland, that's a home game for Boise. I had that as well.
Like, that's a scare. That has to count for something.
They just came off a bad loss to Houston. I think they're gonna be ready.
Bounce back spot.
Yeah, ultimate bounce back spot.
Okay.
Boise State shouldn't even be in the tournament, I think.
Even though they won the Mountain West.
Colorado State should have won the Mountain West, but
okay.
That's for another day.
Yeah. Ferry, your final four.
Podcast.
Oh, well, who do you have winning? Don't just give me the final four.
Who do I have winning?
Yeah.
Right now, I have Tennessee. But it's
I thought you were about to say Memphis.
Actually,
do you have
I'm
Memphis versus Tennessee in the battle for the state?
I'm changing it. I'm changing it right now. UCLA over Tennessee.
No, I think you should have the state championship game, Memphis, Tennessee.
No. I didn't even realize that they were both in the same state till now.
Well,
like when I was making my bracket,
I
was like, oh, that didn't even cross my mind.
There's a couple state championship battles that we could have: Murray State, Kentucky, Davidson, Duke, and Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay.
If they meet up.
Dude, those are the best games. I remember when Wichita State played Kansas and beat them.
Yeah,
that was like a big game.
That's a good one. Last year, Abilene Christian in Texas.
True.
Then Ferry, you're so UCLA, the Bruins, redemption tour from McCrone.
I'm gonna.
They lost bowl. They should have won last year, but biggest shot in the history of the tournament, possibly.
Sure.
Yeah.
2020 too.
Okay.
2021.
Biggest shot of the last tournament.
Yeah. I'm gonna respectfully say I couldn't disagree with all four of those picks more than if I tried.
The Memphis one, the other ones could actually. There's no shot Memphis goes on a tear.
I hope when in a month when we're watching Memphis play anyone in the championship, you play this back. And
I will.
Think about that.
I'm a man of honor.
Yeah. Yep.
I just want you to know that you have to. They're staying in my Final Four forever. Memphis will not leave it. The other three teams may.
All right.
All right then.
If they do make it, you're gonna win the bracket challenge.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that's a okay. Fair.
So my Final Four in that region, I have UConn as of right now, because I don't know what it is. That region is it's going to be crazy in my opinion with all those teams. I've got Kentucky. I think obviously Kentucky's too good. I mean, Baylor. I love Baylor and Big 12, but the injuries it's tough for them. I just don't see them repeating despite how much talent they do still have. Then I have Kansas in the Midwest, and then I have TCU. I'll go with TCU as I was high on them before. I like. It's not that
wait. You have TCU coming out of the.
I have TCU coming out.
And you made fun of Memphis?
That's a fair question.
Well,
that's way worse than Memphis. No,
they're both 9 seeds, and Memphis plays in a joke of conference, but that's neither here nor there.
My God, I cannot believe you have Memphis.
I like
whatchamacallit.
Oh, I'm sorry. You don't like Jamie Dixon.
TCU.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I love Jamie Dixon.
Yeah. Barely not.
You're giving me shit for my Final Four, and you TCU in it.
I am.
Okay.
I like the storyline. I like the storyline of TCU Kansas meeting for the 4th time this year. I like the storyline. And then I like Kansas, Kentucky in the rematch as well. Kentucky and Kansas beats Kentucky in the rematch. I think that they're going to be. And I
Ooh, that's a
like
good
You have
storyline.
Kansas winning it all?
Kansas over Kentucky
Oh,
in
you're
the
rock
final.
chalk.
Unfortunately, it's kind of
You're
chalky. I don't
chalking
like
it
chalk.
up.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, I mean literally rock hard Jayhawk. But I think Kentucky is obviously very good and talented. But I mean, it's hard for them to stay fully healthy the whole way. I think Agbaji is that good. Like he's going to go on a tear.
Mhm.
And I think it finally back-to-back Big 12 champs. So I mean,
All right.
they back-to-back years of Big 12 champions.
Yeah.
Ferry, what do you think will happen? We're screwed if both of our teams lose in the first round. You know that, right?
Oh, 1000%.
Oh yeah, I love Kansas too. So my final four is Texas Tech, Kentucky, Arizona, and Kansas. Kentucky beats Texas Tech, Arizona beats Kansas, and then as of today, I have Kentucky beating Arizona in the championship. One of those two I'll end up having winning it all. Right now, I'm going with Kentucky. I do love Arizona. I think they should have been the number one overall seed. Because they've just dominated everyone
They've
this year.
wins.
Yeah,
They'd be my number one overall seed, even though I hate them.
Yeah, they're really good. Yeah, I mean, they do everything that I like from as a observer of basketball, of what I look for in a team that can win a championship. They dominated UCLA basically 3 times. John Rothstein was saying this on Pardon My Take the other day. They lost the one game, but they really controlled a lot of it all 3 times. So and I didn't love UCLA this year, but I do think that's a dominating enough performance that even in a down Pac-12, I was like, okay, this team's really good. So as far as best bets of the first round go, Ferry, you can start us with this. If you want to start.
This is just like the whole card for the first round. Is that what?
Yeah, you can do every bet you have right now. I mean,
I guess kind of like COD football playoff, kind of like a read the card with the lock.
Yeah, sure. That I haven't put all mine in yet, but
I haven't finalized them all because I just filled them out or just kind of thought of it.
Okay, yeah, give us.
Yeah,
so
I picked every game.
Oh, okay.
Put a bet on every single game.
I'm going to, yeah.
So do you have? So Ben has bets placed. Ferry, have you placed any yet?
I have not. Other than my Texas Tech feature, I have not placed.
I'm not placing any of these until Thursday. This is just.
So you haven't placed any yet?
No, this is just. I'm probably like 80% of these. I will be taking like as they are now. Probably.
Okay, I was gonna say like break it up into what have you bet so far, and then what you're looking at.
No, I like to see the line movement.
Okay.
Same.
Okay, so then when I go, I'll give what I have so far, and then games that I'm observing.
You can go first then, Chuck, if you actually like.
Okay, sure.
Like stuff.
Sure. So, this line isn't available anymore. But South Dakota State plus 4.5. I would bet that down to. It's at 2 everywhere except BetMGM. I would still take the 2.5. I think they're going to win the game, but if I take 2 and they lose by 3, I'm going to be really salty about it. Well, I guess 2.5 doesn't really matter at that point then, but I would rather have the 2.5 if they lose by 2 than push. So if you see it at 2, I probably wouldn't bet it, but I love South Dakota State there. And then I have Vermont plus 5.5. Murray State plus 1.5. They're now favored by 1.5, but I would take the money line. I think they're much better than San Francisco. Loyola Chicago, I have money line minus 114 to beat Ohio State. Ohio State is probably the weakest entering the tournament. They've lost 4 or 5. They lost to Penn State. They lost to. Let me just read this off. They lost to Penn State, Michigan. They beat Michigan State, lost to Nebraska, lost to Maryland. So they are stumbling in. Loyola Chicago, they have actually been here before, Ben. And that's just what they do at this point. They come in, they beat these power conference schools that just aren't ready for Loyola Chicago. They're going to control the pace, and they're going to beat Ohio State. And then Davidson plus 2. I really don't like Michigan State. I don't think they're any good. I'm really down on the Big Ten in general, and the only team that I would trust to make any sort of run would be Purdue, and I don't even like their defense, and Iowa just because they're so hot. But outside of that, all their teams are very average, and Ferry, I know that you agree with me on this. Just how the Big Ten is. Davidson's a really good team. They take care of the ball, take good shots, and that's, as a mid-major, that's a recipe for success. And then hopefully we get them versus Duke for the state championship of North Carolina. But I have a feeling we might get the refs might call something in to get Izzo versus Coach K. So
I have that in my notes.
concern.
I have that exactly thing in my notes. Refs will make Izzo versus K.
Whenever, if it does happen, Indiana against St. Mary's, I have no idea what the spread will be. I have a feeling it'll be really close. Maybe Indiana would be an underdog, but I would take Indiana there. Like Rutgers tomorrow night, Wednesday night, plus 1.5. This will probably be out by then. On Thursday, first tip-off, Michigan, Colorado State under 140. So these ones I haven't placed yet. The last one that I placed was Davidson. Colorado State, Michigan under 140. Colorado State plays really slow. Michigan kind of plays a slower tempo too. So, and since that's the first tip-off, I think there's going to be a lot of defense, a lot of missed shots. So I like the under there. Boise State plus 2.5. I'm looking at. Same thing with them. Like, they're going to control the tempo, and I'm not sure Memphis definitely doesn't want to play at that pace. And generally, the slower teams are the ones that control pace of play. See who else. Sorry, this is Miami plus 1.5 and Virginia Tech plus 1.5. I like too. And that's what I'm rolling with there.
It's still like a lock you got?
Oh, yeah, my lock South Dakota State.
Oh, okay.
Like it. Wait, actually, maybe I don't.
your lock's Providence.
No,
okay, and
my
then
lock.
From a future perspective, I have Kentucky plus 1,000 to win the national championship. Purdue plus 1050. Of course, they got put in the same fucking region, so that kind of sucked to see that. Kansas, I just placed at plus 900 to win the national championship. Ferry, I'm with you. And because they could play Kentucky in the championship, that would just be a dream scenario. But even if they're in the Final Four, like, there's good hedging spots when you have plus 900. That's available at Fox Bet, and not a lot of futures are that hot or that low, I guess, on Kansas. I see a lot of them at plus 700. I think an interesting, when it comes to the Final Four, let me pull this up on Barstool real quick. Oh, more bets. Oh, don't want to do that. From a Final Four perspective, so I have Texas Tech in mind. I think plus 600 is really good value there. Arkansas plus 1,600 is insane. They can make, like, they have enough talent to do it. I feel like that's incredible value there. Villanova plus 2,000. I think I just missed them. Hold on a second. That's not right. Villanova plus 350. They're plus 2,000 to win a national championship. And for the same reason I said Arkansas, I think UConn plus 1,600 is worth it. So that's, and UCLA plus 350, I think, is a good value to make a Final Four too. They've all been there, so they know what it takes at this stage. All right, and yeah, so my best bet, South Dakota State to upset Providence Friars, but take the points. Ferry.
I like that. I'm going to go with, I like Indiana too, despite our, I don't like Big Ten, as we all know, but I do like Indiana. I like Trace Jackson. But even if Wyoming wins, I still like whoever in that against St. Mary's.
I agree.
I like Colorado plus 2.5, or Colorado State against Michigan. I just, Michigan stinks. I think they've just had too much going on, with Howard and everything. and shout out Martelli. Staying, I think you're swaying me to go to San Diego State because like I was just like, well, I feel like people that didn't follow. I feel like everyone follows basketball, but that's not the reality. Thinking, oh, Providence has lost all these or won all these close games, but like that's a small population who knows as much. I feel like
Mhm.
what's going on. So I'll probably lean San Diego State. I like Boise
South
State.
Dakota State.
South Dakota State. Sorry. I like Boise State because things that you mentioned before, the traveling against Memphis. It's in Portland, kind of like a home-ish game for them. I'm like the opposite of Ben. I really don't think Memphis is any good. Sorry, Ben. I
Okay.
like Iowa minus 10.5. I mean, they're on fire. Keegan Murray's the real deal, and Richmond stinks. I like under 152 and Marquette UNC. UNC I don't think is that great, and I think Marquette's too young to really just put up that many points. And Shaka Smart's never been a scoring team coach, anyways. I've got my biggest square pick of the day, Creighton plus 2.5. I don't know why they're plus 2.5. I mean, I think McDermott's done a great job with them this year, and them being plus money against San Diego State. It's kind of weird to me. But I don't know if you saw that total. I'm not touching it, but it's at 120. That's gross.
Yeah, that'll be a gross game.
That's an under. What time is that game at? And where?
9:40 p.m. No.
That would
be put you to sleep. They'll have them in
It's
Seton Hall,
in
TCU.
Fort
Really
Worth.
late.
So both teams are going actually not, but they're not going the same day. They're different directions, but.
I like Vermont or Arkansas over 139.5. I think both teams run and gun. I like points in that. Unfortunately, it pains me to say this. I like Murray State minus 1.5. I like San Fran all year. I think they're a good team, but Murray State is very good in my opinion. I for the same reason like Loyola Chicago, but I don't want them laying points because it's a home game for Ohio State. I don't know if you saw it's in Pittsburgh. So I mean,
good call.
so I don't like having a basically a road team, laying points. So if they can stay even or get points, I'll take Loyola all day. I like the over in Auburn Jacksonville State of 138.5. I think Auburn drops 1 billion points. I think they kind of get back on track with the power, like their higher power offense, and lack of talent on Jacksonville State. I do like Nova minus 15.5. I just feel like there's a lot of little hype with Jameer Nelson Jr., but I just feel UDEL's inferior and Nova's the real deal, obviously. I like Virginia Tech all day plus 1. I either love the Big 12 teams or I hate the Big 12 teams in the tournament. Texas is one of the teams I do not like. Virginia Tech's really hot. I don't think Texas is that great, so I'll take Virginia Tech plus 1. UAB plus 8.5, and I'm probably going to take them outright as well. I like them because I don't like Houston, as I mentioned before. I do think Davidson is the better team with Michigan State, but I just see the story. I'm a storyline guy. Izzo versus K is just I just feel like it's going to happen, despite I think Davidson is a better team with Michigan State not being that great. To go against Ben, sorry Ben, I like Colgate plus 7.5 against Wisconsin. I know it's the game's in Milwaukee. That's that is, I think that's a lot of pressure for Wisconsin still, but even though it's a home game, so Wisconsin will win at home. But Colgate,
shout out Jeff Woodward, Methacton High School.
Oh, is he on Colgate?
He is on Colgate.
Okay,
Yeah.
even more so. Colgate plus 7.5. Go Pack. I think that they've got a few decent. I mean, I know they've won against Syracuse. I mean, and they're just known to hit threes. I think that they're one of the teams that have a bunch of seniors, so I like that. And then I like TCU in a pick 'em. I think Kevin Willard is his mind's elsewhere right now. And TCU, as I said, I like him a lot, and I have them as a Final Four possibility. And then my lock is LSU. I mean, Chuck, we've always talked about coaches that leave. Kids get up for their coach, their interim coach. So I like that. And Iowa State just stinks again with my Big 12. They are not good. I mean, if Isaiah Brockington isn't getting 20 points, they're not scoring more than 40 points. Like I think LSU. I don't think LSU's that good, but only because of this reason would I take it. And it pains me, Chuck, that I can't watch the lock again because it's at 7:00 on Friday, so I can't even watch it. But that is my lock, and that's my card.
Yeah, mine's noon on Thursday, so I just right out of the gate. And then so you have Texas Tech as a future. Anything
Plus-
else you're looking at? You have like what, 30-1 to win the national title, something like that.
33-1, yeah.
33-1.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That's better value than my Memphis future.
Well,
Somehow.
Texas Tech is, yeah, that is pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy. I like the storyline of Texas Tech. You know, Mark Adams coming in, screw Chris Beard. It just to do the job that Chris Beard couldn't do. That would be awesome.
And then Ben.
Okay, so I like Providence -2.5. This is I don't even like the pick, but everyone's in South Dakota State, so I'm gonna go with Providence. This is purely just to fuck the public. Sorry, F the public. Memphis -2.5. They're my squad. They're going to the Final Four. All the 116 unders, I do that every year. It hits pretty well, so I'm going to continue it this year. So Baylor under 137.5. Gonzaga under 149.5. The other two games, I will also be taking the under once the first four play out. Long Beach +14. I like them a lot. Tennessee keeps it close a lot of the times in the first round, or at least for most of the game. I think Long Beach has won a lot of games. They can compete for most of the game, maybe lose by like 7. I know I have a future on them, but I don't really care. I bet with my brain. Iowa -10.5. Sorry. Do they play Colgate?
Richmond.
No, they don't.
Richmond.
They play Richmond. Yeah, Richmond's awful, as you guys know. I had UNC -3. I was switching to the under. Ferry, I like your pick. New Mexico +7. They're very good. One of the mid majors that I think can make some noise. Kentucky -18. I hate Kentucky, but they have a good big man, I guess, right, Chuck?
Yeah, Oscar Tshiebwe is very
That
good.
might be
Probably
a
going to be the
problem.
player of the year.
Yeah, that might be.
Why do we have to go there? We
That-
don't have to go there.
That might be a problem for a 15 seed. So I'll roll with -18. Creighton +2.5. Arkansas -5. Murray State -1. UCLA -14. They've been there before. My first 4 pick is Indy -4 we all like Indy for the same reasons. Shout out Xavier Jackson Johnson. I forget
Johnson.
his name. H to P.
Almost transferred to St. Joe's. They had an offer.
Loyola Chicago outright. I think we all like that. I like Auburn in the first round. I think they're going to try to make a statement because a lot of people disrespect them. I like the Texas Tech under. They play at a slow pace. Purdue -15.5. I think they have a lot of size that just overwhelm a small school team. Nova Delaware under 133. Nova, usually, I feel like they'll go out to a lead and just kind of slow it down, and there won't be a lot of scoring in the second half.
I like that.
First half. I like the first half now that you mentioned that.
Miami +1.5. I think Ferry had that as well. Illinois -7.5. Coffee Cochran's going to be way too much for Chattanooga. I hate Duke, but I think the kids, those amateurs he has, are going to really play for him in the first round after losing the ACC championship and the UNC game. So I think they're going to play their hearts out and win by 20+. Iowa State +4.5 versus LSU. I'm changing this to LSU -4.5 because I'll ride with Ferry.
I like Ferry's pick a lot too. I'm also going to add LSU.
Let's go.
UAB
I apologize ahead of
+8.5. They have a guy.
Wait, who'd you say? Sorry, who'd you say?
UAB +8.5.
Okay.
Jelly Williams or whatever the hell his name is.
Walker, yeah.
5'10" and drops and puts buckets up.
St. Joe's also had an offer to him in the transfer portal. He did not come here. Just thought of that.
Slighted you for UAB. Colgate +7.5. Enough said. Shout out Methacton. And then Jamie Dixon, Peckham. I'll take Jamie Dixon. And I have 2 locks. Michigan -2.5. Love them. I think they can make some noise in the tournament. I think they might blow out Colorado State. And then my other lock is Vatech outright against Texas.
And then future-wise, anything you got your eye on potentially, or that you've already placed?
UCLA, I think I'm going to end up placing that because I like them a lot to make it out of there. I already have Baylor, so adding another team there is nice. I already have Gonzaga and Memphis in the one region. And then right now, I'd probably take, I don't even know who out of the Midwest and South. I don't really feel strongly about those regions at all. Maybe like, what team do they even have out of the Midwest? I forgot.
Let me check.
We gotta look.
Midwest.
Wisconsin. That's Iowa and Wisconsin. I'd probably take like features on. No one out of the South really impresses me too much. That I feel strongly about.
All right. Anything? We got 2 minutes here. Anything else you want to add?
I think I'm good.
Nothing. You're good.
Pitt will be in the tournament next year.
Can't say the same about my
Bold,
school.
bold
I will
prediction.
not be promising for either one of my schools as well. I mean, you saw St. Joe's lose Forest today, Jack Forest.
Yep, did see that.
And Bishop earlier this week. So, I mean, it's only a matter of time till Hall leaves too.
End of an
So,
era.
there it is. There it is.
Go Zags, baby. Let's make a run.
Hopefully Mark Few, I guess lays it off the booze this weekend, the next month.
Yeah, him and Coach K's grandson in Palo. Hopefully when they meet up, they don't start drinking at the Elite Eight site. All right, that was the NCAA tournament preview. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Glad that it's actually back now.
Absolutely.
Agreed.